I've been watching you for the past 2 months, so not that long. I just wanted to talk about when at times you get overwhelmed and you become agitated and then you begin to swear.
No, I swear regardless of being agitated.
Well, you haven't sworn in the last 10 minutes.
That's because I'm on TikTok. You should see me on YouTube.
Yeah, I've seen you on YouTube. That's what I mean.
Well, what are you saying? Well, wait, hang on, back up. Are you saying that I swear on YouTube because I get agitated?
I see you calm, when you begin a debate, and then when things get heated up, yes, you swear.
Yeah, but I swear regardless of being heated or not.
Okay, fine. I mean, that's fine. Fine, you swear, no problem. My point is, you say you are a new style of a podcast, and I agree with that.
I'm what?
Don't you think?
I say
right,
what?
Like a new style of podcast. It's different, right? The way you debate is new. It's different, and you're engaging a new. You're bringing in a new audience, right?
No, I wouldn't say so.
I would say, with regards to how you deal with some guests and you swear and you disrespect them,
sometimes that happens.
Yeah. It can potentially make your valid argument actually look weak because of that.
Yeah, I agree. That can happen.
And I worry because sometimes, you're a mature man, you're in your 40s, and a lot of these guests are...
Well, I'm 40. But yeah, here's the thing, right? You're doing the guests are young thing. I suppose that this would have validity if I didn't debate with men my own age constantly, older than me or younger than me, professional, amateur alike, TikTok star to YouTube megastar to scholars of our time like Matt Dillahunty and others. I suppose that would be a more valid argument if that was not the case, but that is the case. The case is that I just don't treat you because you happen to be 22 and a voter and you're trying to sway people with rhetoric. I just don't treat you differently than I would if you were 45. So,
no, yeah, I understand that, but I guess what I mean is people are not fully developed at a young age, right? So,
no, I don't know about that. Well, then they shouldn't be in the arena trying to sway people. So, like, if the idea here is just, well, they're kind of young and stupid and don't know what they're talking about, it's like, well, then they need to shut up, right?
Well, yeah, but sometimes your valid points does make you look weak when you throw insults and disrespect people.
Well, I think that's a matter of perspective. I think it's a matter of perspective, and that for some people like yourself, that may be the case, that there are times where kind of like a matching brutal rhetoric, if somebody says something horrible to me and I say something equally as horrible right back, can make it seem as though for whatever reason you have decided that makes the validity of an argument lesser or more, but I would actually disagree with that. I would say that that's just kind of a preference base from some people who would watch it, but I don't see how it would make the argument less or more valid regardless of how I said it.
I mean, if I'm possibly bringing this up now, I imagine not many people have brought this up to you.
Oh, no, I've heard it before, of course.
Okay, so there's probably a good amount of people that probably agree with what you're saying, but because of sometimes how you handle certain situations, it just kind of makes you, look like weak in that particular argument.
Well, I mean, I think it's fine for people to have the criticism, but here's the thing. Let me just respond by asking you this. Let's say that you had like a 50-50 split, where 50% of people were like, no, you should have been more brutal, and 50% of people are like, no, I think that your tone actually takes away from your message. Who should I go with?
I think you should go with how a debate should be conducted, classically.
Yeah, but we're not doing classic debates. Like, first of all,
this is what I mean.
Most people, even professional debaters, aren't actually equipped to do a classical debate. That's not how the format of debate works anymore. The format of debate works in an informal capacity. And just so you know, like as was stated by Socrates himself, rhetoric is any form of convincing people which works. That's it. That's all it is. It's not based on logic. It's not based on reason. It's not based on anything. And so people will often default to rhetoric in order to be convincing. And it doesn't matter at that point if their arguments are valid or sound or this or that. That's why you have so many Deans and Parkers in the world who can be rhetorically effective, but they don't have really any good arguments whatsoever. So I would say no. I would have to default and say no. I think that the one thing that gives me a higher amount of value is that I'll tit for tat. If you want to take it down to the lowest levels, we can go there. And if you want to keep it at the highest levels, we can go there, as proof by this conversation.
I guess what I'm saying is you are attracting young men, that you're clearly popular, and you might be sending the wrong message on how to deal with arguments.
I think no, I don't agree. I think that the idea that I think at the core heart of the Crucible's message is you don't have to take this. You don't have to put up with this. You don't have to be beholden to the whims of sophists and lunatics, crazy people, and degenerates. You don't have to be beholden to that. And if they try to kind of browbeat you, you can browbeat them right back. If they try to outdebate you, you can outdebate them right back. If they try to use logical argumentation, you can defeat that as well. I think that at its core, that is the message. And I understand that I'm a brutal debater at times, but I think it's necessary, honestly. I understand the criticism. I do, and I think it's a fine criticism. I'm just saying that I disagree with it.
Yet.
Okay, well, I'm ready when you are.
Can I just quickly add to that, though? I'm not actually sure what's so much worse about being a direct and forthright debater, especially when you're often debating in the face of people who will use sarcasm and who will use innuendo and lots of different fallacies, and they'll just lie straight to your face. It may not come across as aggressive, but oftentimes, it is a form of aggression in itself. So I'm not actually sure what's so much worse about that. I think it's better if you're telling the truth.
Yeah, but you don't tell the truth through insults.
But why not?
Well, I mean, no, that's not the case. I mean, many insults are true.
No, I just don't think. Look, many insults can be true, but when you open your voice to the large majority of a population or the world, you sort of want to.
What, like Trump? Like when Trump insults people, it seems to work fine.
Well, Can you think of a situation where it would be acceptable to insult someone and tell them the truth, Peter?
Sorry, can I just answer the Trump one? Don't you think a lot of people dislike Trump as well as like Trump?
Yeah, but I think if Trump backed off on his rhetoric, that he wouldn't be as popular as he is.
You're right. So what audience are we trying to attract these days?
You mean the types of people? I think that my messaging is for everybody. Now, whether or not people receive it well or not, that's going to be up to the individual and up to the individual's interpretation of it.
So the reason why I say agitated, Andrew, is because last night I joined the TikTok live with you, and there was a girl who joined who was clearly disabled, and you were laughing at her.
Yeah, I didn't know she was. I thought she was trolling.
But this is what I mean, Andrew. You're not supposed to laugh anyway. You're supposed to have that some sort of self-awareness to know.
How would I ever know that?
Please let me finish.
Bro, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not a psychic, and people troll on the internet all the time. You're not in my shoes. You don't realize this, but hundreds and hundreds of people try to troll me daily. So there's no reason for me to assume in any way, shape, or form that was not a troll. And somebody DM'd me actually later and told me that was not a troll, and I said, damn, now I feel kind of bad about that. I didn't know, but it was proper. It actually was more proper for me to assume it was a troll, because 9 out of 10 times I'd be correct.
But then, Andrew, do you take a troll as an attack?
No, but I think that the best way that you can eliminate sometimes it can be, but I think the best way to eliminate the grievance of trolling is to counter troll. Like, the joke's not funny, in other words, if you're trolling back. It's not funny anymore.
Because part of me thinks, and not sure if Brian's going to be honest or yourself, but you're also trying to get views, right?
Yeah, that's not a thing I have a problem with.
So is it more entertaining if you debate in this way?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
So Is it more about the truth or about getting views? Which is it?
Well, it's about both. I mean, how can I deliver the truth to people if I don't get views?
Okay. I just hope you see my point now.
Well, I mean, can you respond to my question, though? How can I deliver truth to people if I don't get views?
You deliver truth. You can deliver truth, absolutely, but you don't need to do it through insults.
Yeah, okay, but can you answer to the question I asked you? The question I specifically asked you is, if I'm going to deliver truth, I need views to deliver that truth, right?
How is it truthful as a Christian?
I don't know why you're asking me a question. Can you answer my question first, then ask yours?
Could you ask a question again, please?
I need to get views in order to deliver truth, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. So then,
what is truth? The slurring, the swearing, or the actual debate?
well, I mean, I don't understand. So to deliver truth is going to require mouth sounds. You agree with that, right?
Yes.
Okay, or I mean, some sort of language at least. I mean, I guess maybe hand signs like sign language or something like this. But the conveyance of a message is going to require all sorts of words that may not be even necessary for the conveyance of the message, but can make it hit differently or emphasize differently or things like that. It's all part of rhetoric, right?
Yeah, but you're getting too theoretical about this.
I don't think I'm being too theoretical about it. I think I'm just telling you, again, an honest truth.
Yeah. So could you answer my question about how can a Christian who swears claim to be that truthful?
What's wrong with swearing?
As a Christian, I just don't believe you should be swearing, especially in public.
Well, that's nice that you believe that. Can you show me why or tell me why? Like, I'm not really concerned about your emotional state. I just want the argument.
It's not my emotional state. I'm not a Christian myself. I just don't think Christians go around swearing at people.
Yeah, why?
And disrespecting them.
Why? Why do you think that? So, like the previous caller, at the time of Jesus Christ, if you called somebody a whitewashed tomb, that was a unalivable offense. If you called someone a liar, it was an unalivable offense. They'd put you to the sword for things like that. And these people were using way harsher rhetoric than I ever dream of, which could lead to such a consequence, because that's how offensive and egregious the language was at the time. And so for you to say like let's say you went over to your friend and you went, "Oh man, I'm sorry that happened to you." You think that that's a violation of Christian ethics?
I don't know, but you got
you don't
children,
know?
right? Do you swear in front of your children, Andrew?
Sometimes.